Hi guys, one of the men of the hour out here, Matt Gaetz, Congressman Gaetz, honored to be with you. You were one of the biggest fighters in American politics, really representation. You're a statesman. We're down here on the border at the congressional field hearing of what's going on. You've got Democrats that are basically just pushing for open borders. What is the main intent of the hearings down here? And to the American people, what's your message?
Well, we are laying a factual predicate for the reforms that we have to be willing to dig in on in the House of Representatives. We all know we're in divided government right now. We have an administration intent on turning the border into a turnstile and a Senate that's not intent on doing much of anything. So if anything's going to happen, it's going to be because the House of Representatives ignites the demand for the asylum reforms, for the stay in Mexico policies, for the physical border security, and for the support for our Customs and Border Patrol to do something other than immigration processing, to actually unleash their capabilities to secure our border. Man, I got to tell you, today, we've been to hospitals, we've been to food banks, and I see the pressure that this illegal immigration puts on border communities especially. We see the pressure on every community in our criminal justice system and in our education system, but where you have some of the most kind-hearted people, like you have here in Yuma, Arizona, who want to take care of their neighbors and love them and care for them, and then they're just overwhelmed by the pure volume and mass of it all. Your heart breaks for them, but they deserve people who will fight for them. Doesn't look like either of their United States senators will, so our delegation in the House is here to do just that.
And you guys, people ask, well, what can the Congress do? You guys control the purse strings. Is this one of those things, the fake news media always attacks you, say, oh, the Republicans are shutting down government. Will you guys refuse to pass a budget going forward that doesn't include border security?
Well, here's the deal, Ben. Now, because of the tools I fought really hard for at the beginning of January, we're actually going to individually consider these different agencies and their budget proposals. Because before, you had to vote for the Homeland Security budget the same time you voted for the Department of Education budget or the Department of Labor budget. So now we're going to be able to tweeze through the different strategies that are effective, and we're going to be able to separate the wheat from the chaff. And I think that will force the White House and the Senate to the table to discuss those policy matters. I'm ready to fight for them, because if we don't have a border, we do not have a country. And I think Republicans are increasingly coming to that view in great unison.
One other thing. Mexico's controlled by the cartels. Their politicians are paid off by the cartels. I believe that's also happening in America. Are the investigations you guys are doing, you got Jim Jordan leading a lot of this. Can we start investigating representatives that don't represent the American people or maybe have gone against their oath?
Well, I have total confidence in Jim Jordan. I think he's leading our committee very well, and he knows these issues. He's spent time on the border previously. We also have great leadership from folks like Paul Gosar and Andy Biggs. I'm more worried about the Chinese Communist Party, financial control on our politicians, and especially the current occupant of the White House. I'll have to look more into the cartel matter, but you're absolutely right that we can't view the government of Mexico as some arm's length actor separate from the cartels. In a way, it is a narco-captive state, and our policies when it comes to diplomacy, trade, all should reflect that to a greater extent.
Thank you, sir. And I haven't got to tell you this in person, but on behalf of the American people, thank you for fighting the fight to get the concessions that you got. I know, but I just appreciate you actually standing up and being a guy that's not going to back down.
Well, and you know, one of the things that we demanded and that we received was the ability to isolate any one bureaucrat's salary. So imagine if in these last few years, you could have taken a vote on the Fauci salary.
Oh my gosh.
Now we might be able to do that with some of the people who are pushing wokeism at the Department of Homeland Security instead of actual border security, which is the organizing principle of our effort here.
Well, that's a start. Take their money away, but then also arrest them at some point. When we take back the White House, get a good attorney general and take them out. But Congressman Matt Gaetz, one of the biggest fighters in America, down here at the congressional field hearing on the border. Stay tuned, much more. It's an honor to be down here with you, sir.
Thank you, my friend.